Hello? Hello? Testing. Okay, I just found out. I just found out that I am muted. I'm going to start all over. I'm not going to give the full intro, but I'm just going to let you guys know that we are going to be in Adobe Illustrator and Adobe Photoshop. And I'm cracking up. It says, don't let them silence you, diva. Don't let them silence you, queen. We're going to be in Adobe Illustrator and Adobe Photoshop, and I'm going to be creating a vintage baseball card looking design inspired by vintage baseball cards and the Year of the Horse. Let's see. Okay, we got some cool people in here. We got Jamie, we have Idara, we have Jacob. We have anyone else? I think we got other people in here. Say hey. Hey. Let's pop right into Illustrator. Let's get started. Oh, let me make sure that, can you guys hear me? Hold on. Hold on, I'm just realizing now that I'm having an issue with my picture-in-picture. So let me get that in there. Hold on. Okay. Can you guys hear me? No? Uh-oh. Testing, testing. Okay, I have a different mic on right now. You guys can hear me. The quality might be a little bit different, but you can still hear me, so that's great. Okay, so what I have here is like a very basic outline for the baseball card. We're gonna make our own, but this is one that I just wanted to show you. It's like super basic. I have 2 color palettes, 3 fonts to possibly choose from. Maybe we'll add another one there. Then I have some sketches. After I sketched this in my sketchbook, then sketched it over digitally, and then vectorized it, I was like, wait, I should actually be using a photo instead. I just wanted to put it here because I feel like maybe I can use it as an icon at some point. And then I have a bunch of sketches of flames and fire that I'll vectorize. I didn't have the time to do that earlier today. But yeah, I'm going to make another artboard right under here, and I'm gonna make a new version of this. So let's just grab like the outline of the card. That'll be the general shape of it. And you can see here, it's always, not always, but most of the time it is going to be mirror image of itself. What is the word? My words are escaping me today. I'm actually rocking a real rough headache that's turning into a migraine. But okay, cool, you guys can hear me. And yeah, lots of geometric shapes. Sometimes there's like these little connectors here that I think is really cool. And then there's usually type on top, and I always love that there's like stars and whatever, but either way, it's always super geometric. And I'm going to start off by making an inner border. So I'm going to go with the actual like card selected. I'm going to go to Object, Path, Offset Path, and I'm going to make this a negative 0.06. We can actually make this 0.08, make that a little bit deeper in, maybe even 9. Yeah, and then I'm going to round off these corners a bit, and I'm going to do the same thing, Object, Path, Offset Path, and then I'm going to make that a little bit smaller. Jess Cabato is here. Hi, friend. Everybody should give Jess a follow as well. She's a bestie. I like this detail, but I want to move it up on top. So I'm going to grab a rounded rectangle, bring it over here, make it a little bit bigger, and I'm going to, let's make sure everything is in the middle. Let's group those together. And round that out here. We're going to do the same thing. Object, Path, Offset Path. Okay. And then at the bottom, I don't know that I want to have like a full frame shape inside. This one maybe like a little bit more simple. I was thinking of doing almost like a ribbon at the bottom. Like this type of ribbon. 2 Just Baddies in the chat. A ribbon, and then, so, okay, I had the idea, maybe I was like, oh, I can do a star over here. But this is the year of the fire horse. So I think we should do a flame. I'm gonna trace over this. I'll do a smaller one to start. And I'm using the curvature tool to very quickly go over this. I think in one of my previous streams, somebody asked like why I don't just use image trace on a sketch like this, and it's because it'll be a whole mess. It won't come out nearly as smooth. And this is not perfect, but I'm gonna fix it once I bring it down to where I want it to be. So it's funny. I'm thinking of this almost like a Pokemon card, but it's not. Okay, let's bring this up here and zoom in. Okay, let's fix this. And it's a little bit lopsided. I've noticed that my hand sketches, when I'm doing something on paper or I don't have like the fidelity of the brush turned up, I always skew a little bit to the right. And you can really see that here. It's not always, but it is pretty often. Steven's here. Hey, Steven. I love seeing all my friends in the chat. Offset path. Let's keep that a little bit smaller. And maybe make that bigger. Or, okay, let's try this. Let's do object path, offset path, and instead of inner, although I do like that, so I'm gonna leave this and then do it again. But this time, whoa, without the negative, and 05, let's make that 04, and we'll do round. Cool. And we can just fill everything. Okay, so now I'm wondering if I even need this circle, because then it really does start to feel like Pokemon if that's what I'm doing. Let's grab all of this, group it together, and now I'm gonna get rid of this last one, and I'm gonna redo it, but make it much bigger. We'll do object, path, offset path, and we'll do 0.06. And I know that doesn't sound like much bigger, but it doesn't overlap with the point that we have over there, which I really didn't love. And now I'm going to do the same thing here, object, path, offset path, and I will bring this one down to 0.05. Cool. So we have these things. Let's bring that here, or maybe bring this in a little bit. And I want to bring these points in, so I'm just gonna direct select and bring them in so they're not showing when whoops. Oh, I guess this is an option as well. Cool. I'm gonna select everything together, group it together, make sure it's in the middle, and bring it up just a bit. Cool. So I like this tubing that we have up here, and I want to do the same thing on this side. So I'm going to take two rectangles. That's one. And that's two. Group these together and maybe bring them up a bit. All right. We're going to select all of these, and let me zoom in. And now I'm going to use the shape builder tool to build the shape and make sure that it is attaching onto the outer quote tube of this oval shape that I have. So now this is all connected as one, and I'm going to make this its own shape. Looking cool. I wouldn't mind doing something similar to this. Maybe as a flame. So let's trace over this. I don't know if this is gonna work, but I am interested in seeing if it does. And if it does, I think it'll look pretty cool. So yeah, at first when I was putting together, what should I do for this episode? I thought it would make the most sense to do something for the year of the fire horse, but I didn't just want to do an illustration. I felt like that wasn't enough. And then I really found myself this week, like, diving into archives of vintage baseball cards and sports cards in general. And I thought, ooh, wouldn't that be cool? I didn't stop to consider that it might look like a Pokemon card, but I don't hate that idea. I think that's pretty awesome. Emily's here and she says, Faya. Hi, my friend. This is just me and all my friends hanging out while I design fun things. What a great time. Okay, we're going to grab this and let's see if I can turn this into some sort of frame. I might not be able to, but I want to be able to use it in some capacity. So skew that. I don't know if I can. Maybe what I can do is let's make a rectangle here. Bring it down. Let's find the middle. Bring that up. Middle here. Bring that up. Bring this down a bit. I don't even think that's even, if I'm being honest. But does it have to be? That's the question. Does it have to be even? Let's send this to the back. And then maybe these flames can just be behind, poking out. That could be kind of cool too. Let's make sure everything is, yeah. Okay. Bring this here, and then I'm gonna cut this off eventually. Eventually. And we can do the same thing here. It almost looks like a house is on fire, and I don't love that. But it also looks like a horse's stable, and I do love that. Let's bring these two to the front. Range, bring to front. Great. Yeah, that's kind of cool. Okay. Oh, you know what we could do too is object, path. You know I love an offset path. We're gonna do, no, let's keep it like this. And I want to cut off that tiny, tiny little corner there. Great. So now it looks like a little horse stable on fire, but it's fine. Okay. So I was thinking about like what we can put on the card. We could either write fire horse and then the year 2026. Actually, if there, Jess Cabato, if you are still in the chat, I'd love if you could answer this if you have the answer. Is it the year 2026 or is there another year that it goes by? Because I know that the lunar calendar is obviously different and I don't know what years are counted. I know that on the Jewish calendar that also goes by the moon, lunar, it's like the year like 5,800 and something. But anyway, if we could get a poll going for the first font that we use. Let's just say 1, 2, or 3. I think, Udara, I think that might be you. Yeah, which one we can get. So, and then I was thinking, should we do, and maybe we could do 2 versions of Firehorse 2026, and then just go on with it, or it could say stable, that's for horses, and then you just kind of have the idea of the year 2026, or I'll put 2026 like right here if we go with that one. For me, I think that's funnier, so I would like to go in that direction, but you know, we don't necessarily have to. I can't wait to see some dimes for the 250th birthday of the US. I could probably do that too. Not probably, I definitely could. Let me bring this in. Speaking of the US, who's been watching the Olympics? Obviously, all the countries are in it. I'm based in the United States. And I have to say, our athletes are not doing amazing in certain categories. Starts in February 17th for this year. Okay, cool. Okay, interesting. Just simplify here. Okay. I feel okay about this. And then we have two different color palettes. I think instead of doing a poll, I'm just gonna start with one of them, and if I don't like how it looks, then we will move on from it. So I wanna keep it super limited. Actually, these two look like they're the exact same shade. This one's slightly lighter. So let's make it, yeah. Okay, let's get into this. Actually, let me add a stroke onto these so I'm not, okay. Let's get into this. Let's start adding color. And then we are gonna add in some, we are gonna add in a photo, so don't you worry. Cool. And let's make these the flames. Oh, that's a little bit too dark for me. Okay, I think I need to use the shape builder tool over here to build, whoops, that shape. And now I can, I really gotta get in there to click it. I think I'm gonna do the orange or the dark red. I think the orange. And let's make this yellow. Let's make this yellow too. Use the shape builder here as well. We'll do, whoops. 1, 2. And in case you aren't familiar with the shape builder tool, it literally just builds shapes that are overlapped with each other. So now this is an individual shape, and this is an individual shape, rather than this whole thing being a shape and then just another piece on top of it. And it makes it easier to kind of like color things in. I guess this color here doesn't matter as much because I'm going to punch it out. We'll do, I think the orange, honestly, for something like this, the less colors, the better. I want to keep it pretty simple. And I'm probably going to get rid of that. Zoom in. The red, I just don't think I'm going to be using the red in this. Use that light orange there. I think that looks cool. Cool. Loving how this looks. I'm going to select all of this, duplicate it, select all of it again, and I'm going to punch this out. Also using the shape builder tool, but holding down Option on a Mac. Let's zoom in to make sure that we're Not missing any pixels. Great. So what I'm doing here is basically making, it's making a frame. I'm gonna group all this together, and now you can see it's a frame. And now when I bring this into Photoshop and I put like the photos of the horse that I have in there, it'll make sense. I'm realizing now here that I have some overlap that I want to get rid of. Okay, cool. So let's do two versions of this. We'll do stable, that's for horses. And I wonder if there is another version of this that I can fully fit. Oh, I like these a lot. Possibly this one more. Let's stack these and see. Okay. Let's change this color. Oh, that looks great. That looks really cool. Okay. Possibly, I just chose a random orange for this. Oops. Maybe this is where I can use the red. Or maybe I just get rid of the red, you know? Oh, that looks great. The way that it's stacked on top of each other. Very, very happy with that. Really cool. Okay, let's leave it like this. Stable, that's for horses. Maybe it goes here. And make it a little smaller. And, oh, interesting. I don't think I want to do that though. I'm going to zoom in, bring down that stroke a bit, and I'm actually, let me take everything off of here. Where's my appearance panel? Appearance, fill, there we go. Now I'm going to bump this up to 1.4, duplicate that, bump that up to 2, and I'm going to hit effects, go to distort and transform, and horizontal like 0.01 and 0.012. Great. Stable, that's for horses. I find that to be so funny. Sorry if you don't. Sorry if you don't get a sense of humor. Okay, duplicating that, putting it to the side, and I'm going to, just outline the text so I can get it like properly in the middle. And then we can do a normal one. Let's make another artboard. Grab all this here, and we could do fire horse, and I will change that once I layer everything. Group, center, and then realizing that it's not, that nothing else is centered, so that doesn't help. There we go. This bigger. And I'm going to use, I guess, this font. All right. Year of the Fire Horse. I didn't know that it was Year of the Fire Horse until recently. I thought it was just Year of the Horse. Yeah. And I wonder if, okay, let's use the shape builder tool to fill in the letters here. Oops. I'm sure there is an alternative to this font that has that. I just don't have it downloaded, and I'm not gonna waste all of our time doing that. Oops. Select all of the letters inside. And there we go. Get rid of. Cool. Loving how it's looking. Really thrilled with this so far. Year of the Fire Horse. Group it. Bring it up. Okay. And then we're going to put the dates. So I think, thank you, Idara. I'm really happy with all of these fonts. They're like really nicely vintage feeling. I think, okay, so Jess Cabato said 2026 in February next year. So like, should I do 2026 to 2027 or just 2026? February. I'm just gonna leave it as this for now. It says February 2026. Yeah. Okay, cool. That's fine. I'm going to group all this, or not group all of this, select all of it and copy it. And then I'm going to go on over to Photoshop. Hold on. Let's get over there. Whoa, look at all those horses. We love them. Let me use the artboard tool to just make a second artboard so we can work with it all together. The cycle through the 5 elements water. Oh, I'm learning a lot today and I'm really enjoying it. Jess said, yes, they cycle through 5 elements, water, fire, earth, metal, wood. That's really cool. I'm going to make this bigger. And now we're just gonna choose a horse. I think that the most majestic one, they're actually all very majestic. Let's see what they look like in here. And I'm not just gonna place them in there and say that's that. I'm actually going to, whoops. Super cool. You usually do 2026. Okay, cool. That makes sense to me. Let's make a clipping mask here. Create clipping mask. Cool. So I like this one. Let's make it a little bigger. I would love it if it was like popping out of the frame a little bit, which I can do and I will do. Year of the Fire Horse. Okay, that's a good option. We also have, well, this one just has a white background, but I think, I want to change this background to like a dark gray. Oops. Let's bring that there. Just so we can concentrate more on the actual design. Steven said, this is so fun. Thank you. Woo. Okay. You know what? Let's just try all of them. And then we can decide later. Or like, is there, well, this one almost looks like it's flying because it's going to be cut off a bit. So maybe not this one. Let's try this last one who doesn't have a background. So what I would do, although I kind of like it without a background. I don't mind it, to be honest. Huh. What do you guys think? I'd love to know what you guys think. I'm going to go in here and select the object. This is a smart object, so I'll be able to kind of play around. And let's do create mask. And then I'm going to go into the mask. Enter, select mask. Okay, I accidentally changed my masking color once to white and it ruined everything. So I don't know what to do now, but I'll figure it out at some point. Let's do smart radius. I really don't need it to be perfect. Shift edge. Decontaminate colors will help with hair. And we can do refine hair. There we go, cool, okay. Save. Oh, you know, it always does this. I'm just going to copy and paste it. Oh, that's something else I was working on. That's my bad. Where did it go? Oh, I don't want to accidentally open up the wrong thing on here. There we go. And I'm going to rasterize this because I don't need it to be anything else. Okay, let's change it. Move that down. I think it looks cool without the background. I also think I accidentally deleted part of its head, but you know what? Like, whatever. I think that's okay. Actually, hold on. I can fix that by having not destroyed the layer. Or maybe it's too late. Let's use the paintbrush. Make sure that I'm in the clip layer and just paint that back in. Okay, let's get rid of that. And we'll be able to see everything a lot better. Make sure that I didn't ruin everything else. Use black here to erase while I am in the masking mode. Gorgeous, what a beautiful horse. And this is a good lesson in why you don't destruct everything that you work on. I'm going to duplicate the layer. I'm going to shut off that one, and now I'm going to convert it to smart object and rasterize it. Cool. Let's flip it. Maybe make it a little bigger. And okay, let's bring this up, and now I'm going to play around a little bit more. Let's again convert it to a smart object. Going to go to filter, add noise. Oop, there it is. And I'm going to zoom in so you could see the noise that I'm adding. This is when I click it, shows without. This is with. It's very little. I want to add like maybe a little more, so it has like a very vintage feel to it. I'm gonna hit OK. I'm gonna make a second copy, and then I'm gonna go to Image, Adjustments, Threshold. I've been loving playing around with threshold lately, and I just play around with it till I figure out what makes sense, and that felt like it made sense. I'm going to stack it on top of here perfectly, and then I'm going to play around with the opacity layers until I get something. Also, that feels right. I don't think there's a right, look at the difference in that texture. It's gorgeous. I'm gonna duplicate that again and maybe play around a little bit more, see what else I can get. Oh, it's so fun. This is great. I'm having a blast. Okay, so this is before, and this is fully before, and that's just one layer, and that's a second. Love it. I'm gonna group this together, turn this into a smart object. And now I'm going to copy, paste again. Now I'm going to take the top layer. I'm going to go to filter, color halftone. All these channels are different numbers. It's just like depending on like where in the graph of it all that these colors lie, the CMYK lies, and I keep the radius at 4 pixels because I tend to work on a smaller canvas. And now we got even more texture and it's beautiful. I'm going to bump the opacity down a little bit and again, just play. Just play until it feels right, and that feels right to me. Great. I'm going to group these together. Oops. Looks fire. Haha. See how it looks if you zoom out a little. Yes. Well, this is obviously like when you zoom in, you really see all of the texture and all of the dots, but the idea is that like if I were to print this out, you wouldn't really see all of that because your eye isn't just like sitting right there. Okay. So we've got this, it's grouped together. I'm going to convert this to a smart object and I'm going to send it behind the frame, and then you're like, oh, now what? Don't worry, we're gonna make a copy. We're gonna put this above the frame, and I'm going to have to rasterize this because I'm gonna have to erase a bunch. So rasterize layer and grab the eraser, bump that up a bit, and we'll just start, we'll just start erasing around here. I didn't want to erase the tail, but because there's so much like weird texture around it, I think I might have to. Also, wait, let's go back a second because these two, is that centered? Okay, let's make this centered. Okay, now we'll go back to what I was doing. Instead of eraser, I'm just gonna select the things that I want to erase. And I want to erase around here and around the flame there. Yeah, and I guess I could fix that. Well, maybe this is it. Maybe this is, you know, what it looks like. You could just keep the smart object and put a mask on it and paint on the mask. Yeah, I could have, Stephen, but I like making my life harder for myself. No, I've talked about this before where like people ask like, why do you do everything destructively? It's not, sometimes it is a lack of knowing what I can and can't do, for sure. But most of the time it's really like to challenge myself, which some people might like, people think it's silly. When I'm working like on client work and there's a time crunch and like specifics that need to be done, that's going to be different, obviously. But when I'm working on something like this, or you know, something for myself, I don't mind. And let's make that bigger, bring down the hardness. Oh, whoops. Oh, why isn't that? Oh, that is the wrong. We'll do that. There we go. Thanks, everyone. I appreciate you guys. I appreciate you guys appreciating me. I do think that there should be some sort of background, though. And I also think, let's lock this. I also think there should be some sizing playing around. Okay. Let's lock this as well. Maybe that. And then I can come in here and fix that up. And this is where Stephen would be correct, where it's like, hey, you could have just not done that. Oops. Oh, the feather is on 10. Let's put that back to 0. And remove everything around here. Cool. Oh, and here. And zoom out. Cool. Yeah, I think we should get a background in there. I actually really like this background. So let's see if I can remove the horse from it. That might be a big ask from Photoshop. But let's see what we could do. Remove tool. Let's start with half the horse. Let's see what happens. I'm gonna be honest, I don't have a good feeling because it's the main part of the image. It's not like I'm trying to get rid of like some sort of blemish. Nope. Okay. Let's try content aware. Oh, I have to rasterize that, sure. And then I can fix it up. Oh no! What about mode, move, extend? Maybe extend is the move. Okay, I can work with this actually. I can work with this. And I think I only need to do, no, I need to do the full image. Or possibly not. Possibly not. Let's leave it at this. Let's leave it with the foot. Okay, let's not leave it with the foot. Copy. Oops. Paste. And I'm going to create a clipping mask. Oh, this is looking so good, you guys. I'm really, really loving this. Okay, let's make that bigger. And I'm gonna play around now with the colors here. So let's do adjustments, hue and saturation. I'm gonna bump that saturation up. And I'm gonna just do the same thing that I did with the horse. So duplicate, before I duplicate the layer, I want to filter, add noise, duplicate layer, okay. Image, adjustments, threshold, and hit it with that. And I don't even remember the settings that I used, but you know what? I don't know if it matters. I like that. And I almost don't want to add a second layer. I'm gonna just group these together and then make a duplicate of this layer. Okay. And I'm gonna do filter, color halftone. This is looking so good. Really loving this. Really, really happy with how this is coming out. Sick. Okay. I am wondering, am I missing something? Are we missing something from this? Like, should the horse have a stroke around it? Or no, definitely not. Maybe it needs flames around it. I'm gonna just quickly grab a few of the flames from the Illustrator file. But I don't know if that's the answer either. I also don't want it to look like the horse is on fire. I wouldn't love that. I guess it is a fire horse. Okay, Jess, you are the Lunar New Year consultant for this episode, and honestly for my life. It doesn't mean the fire horse doesn't mean that the horse is on fire, correct? please. Please say yes. I believe that is correct, even though I just made it up. I don't think the horse is on fire. The horse wouldn't be on fire. Okay. And I think what I can do here to like just bring that in is fill this with the same pink. And then let's do stroke inside, perhaps. Kind of works. Don't love it though. Let's get rid of that. I don't know how I feel about the flame on there. Maybe the color needs to be changed. And, oh, okay, we have about 10 minutes, so I feel okay about this. Maybe the color needs to be changed. So let's do image adjustments, hue and saturation. Oh, that's not what I'm looking for. LOL, no. Okay, that's what I thought. I was just making sure. Let's bring that down a little. Confirm that the horse is not on fire. Great. I don't know. I almost liked it as that bright pink, that hot pink, or maybe. Let's leave it at this. Let's leave it at this. I think that looks cool. Now what I want to do is add texture to the frame and then like this single thing here. So where's that frame? Where's the frame at? I'm going to duplicate the layer, add noise, add color halftone. Zoom in so we can see what's going on here. Sometimes I'd like to do is after I do the halftone is change it to black and white and then lower that opacity a bit so it's giving really vintage. I'm always, when I say really vintage, I just mean like I love the textures in here. Like that's, what a good time. Maybe color burn, 27%. And then I would also like to try, let's do filter, ripple, and then it almost makes it look like it's bleeding a little, which I think is super cool. Let's do the same thing here. We'll do filter, ripple, add noise. The horse represents movement and energy, but when you add fire horse, it's more intense and more passion and boldness. Oh, I love it. I love it because I need that in my life. I think we all do, actually. You know? This is color burn, 27%, so I'm going to change this to color burn, 27%. And then adjustments, black and white. Okay, I don't think that really did anything. Oh, because I changed that color. Okay, I think that, oh, what did I do? I don't know what I did. I don't know what I did there. But I love it all the same. Thank you. Okay, now I have like different textures and things that I just scanned into my computer. Actually, let me make sure that I have the files in my computer before I go ahead and make promises I can't keep here. Let's see if I have that texture file in my computer, and then I can throw it on top of all of this, and that would just be so cool. So let's group all of this together so it's one piece. No, not you, not this. Let's group it all together. And no, there's something, oh yeah. And I'm gonna shut off that artboard. Group it all together. Let's turn it into a smart object. Great. I'm gonna find my textures. Hold on. Basically what I did was just found random papers all around my studio and my house, and like even some garbage from outside. I scanned it in and had some fun. Oh, I found them. Had some fun on my computer. Okay, I don't have all of them on here. I don't really know where they went, but let's like this one's bubble wrap. Let's see if that works with anything. Actually, kind of. Don't hate that, but it doesn't make sense. I don't think it makes sense anyway. I used another one on here. This one I didn't make. Oops. There we go. This one I did not make. It was downloaded from, I wish I remember who or where. But it just makes it look like super vintagey. I think it says like worn paperback. If I find the link eventually, I guess I will share it. Although I'm pretty sure that I paid for it. And look at those edges. That looks so cool. I'm gonna grab, I think there was another one on there. Oops. That also was just a little personal project I was working on. Okay. Let's grab this here. Oh, so fun. And this is gorgeous. Okay. I'm gonna clipping mask. Create clipping mask. This one at 100, they're both at 100, and this is kind of it. This is the whole thing. I think it came out awesome. I'm really thrilled with how it looks. Let's add a drop shadow too. Let's see. Yeah, this looks sick. I hope you guys enjoyed watching me make this as much as I enjoyed actually making it, because this was a really good time. I'm gonna share this online because I'm really proud of the work. We do have well, it's actually 1 more minute left. Okay, well, with that 1 more minute, I guess I will say goodbye. I will see you guys next week. Thank you for watching, and thank you for making decisions with me. And thanks for being part of me putting this together. That was awesome. You know, sometimes you make something and you're just like, wow, that's so cool. That's how I felt with this. Usually on making decisions, I'm kind of just playing around a lot, and this was very, very cool. So thanks for being here, and thanks for watching, and I hope to see you guys next week. Yeah. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe to Adobe Live's YouTube channel. Thanks for being here. Bye.